just 41 days away from the big one, from November 5th, and a lamppost just flashed on and off just to confirm what I was saying. So we've got a chance to get out in the open today. It's been rainy, as you can probably tell, so I've managed to find a location just before dusk, before sunset, but I wanted to get out and do a show outside with you. So you'd have just seen I launched the show with Ian Clark from Activation. Really fascinating interview. I did that with him late last night, so that went out to my local subscribers. They got that late last night, and then I put it out for the masses on YouTube, so you have a chance to watch it. And lots of amazing information. I've been doing the slaps today, and you have to, like he says, you have to build up courage to continue and build up more depth with it. So but I've done a bit on my legs today. I did my inner arms on the inside of both elbows yesterday, and that's almost pretty much cleared up. Just kind of tightened around it, but kind of firmed up. It's kind of a nice kind of after feeling. Hey Diane, how are you? Actually, that reminds me, someone asked me a question on my email list. So on Substack, someone sent me a message, and thanks for everyone that's joining Substack. It's free to do, so get the email link below. And they asked just about the location down here on Dorset, saying particular energy fields they wanted to move to that area. Really what I would suggest is just go and visit it yourself. They're all delightful, they're all slightly different, so kind of just pick what resonates with you. And even into the forest, the New Forest, so I'd advise you to just check it out first and see what resonates. So hopefully that answers your question. And also, people are loving the shungite and orgonite. I've got the black one today. Shungite is black naturally. Shungite plus orgonite is 206, which is quantum physics. So we are 41 days away from the big one, from November 5th. The number 41 comes to USA, comes to alien, it comes to king, comes to coin, comes to home, it comes to good, comes to some naughty words as well. Well, passionate words beginning with F, which can be a great word, but also it can be a word when people might say something like that to you in a mean way. you hear what I'm saying. But there's good and bad numbers. It depends on the word, depends on the context. Some words can be great and also not so great depending on the context. So but yeah, 41 days away. 41, if you spell 41, it comes to 118, which comes to Guy Fawkes, which comes to the storm, the awakening. And it was the very first number I got. It's my cousin Paul's date of birth, January 18th, and it's the very first number I recognized shortly after he passed away, and even closer to the time that I met Ivanka Trump. I started to notice it a day or two later after meeting her. Yeah, 41, so it's a great number. 41 is a wonderful number, and I'm sure I just said it there in all 4 minutes and 1 second. And I'm sure it will come up in the comms from President Trump in the next day or two, maybe today. He's been doing a lot of speeches, a lot of rallies, some of the stuff I need to catch up on. But if there's particular parts you wanted me to look at, just put them in the comments. Oh, bless you. Thanks, Diane. Thank you. And I was looking, I've said some of this before, but I was looking into it a little deeper. So I've said how September 11th has to be reversed. And the numbers in Back to the Future, when time travel was invented, remember Emmett Brown, 148, a simple gematria, Donald J. Trump, The Art of the Deal, 148. And it was Emmett Brown 148 who invented time travel, and he said it was invented November 5th 1955. Interesting, Steve Jobs was born in 1955, which I thought was interesting. And I think if I got it right, I think it was February 24th or 224. So 224 is this year, 2024. But then there was the connection with 1955. But 1955 comes to 194, which equates to September 11th, 194, New Yorker Hotel, 194. And it's, hang on. Yeah, 194. So that's obviously a very important number. And so September 11th, so he's basically saying November 5th, September 11th, when he says September 11th, September 11th, 1955. And it's strange how people hover while you're doing a live stream. Yeah. Anyway, so September 11th is 1955, which is 194, which is New Yorker Hotel, which is the Tesla Hotel. So I've said that they're intrinsically connected. So November 5th and September 11th are intrinsically connected. And when you look at the numbers on it, if you do building one, tower 1 is 11.5, which is November 5th. And then the question is which November 5th. If you do tower 2, it comes to 139, and 139 comes to 11.5 plus 24, because we're in the year 2024. You add those both together, that comes to 254. 254 is the number of days in 2001 when September 11th occurred. And when you do, you'll notice in Back to the Future, there's the line that they draw when they go back in time in the first Back to the Future, and it says the start. The start is 111, which is New York. And there were 2 towers, so there were 2, there was 1 and 1. But then they went, and then there's 1 that's been put back up, which is a different one. But when you get 3, that's 111, which is the start. The question is the start of what? So if you do start of the millennium, it comes to 254, which also comes to narrow Verrazano Bridge, which is at the other side, facing the place of 9/11 across the bay. So they've got markings on that all over the place. But then if you do, you've got building 7. So once you've added tower 1 plus tower 2, 254, which is also the 1,000 years of peace, which is a marker of the millennium. And remember Steve Bannon, with the guy from the Chinese Federation, talked about 1,000 years, the millennium, that China wanted to be in peace with the world. And that was at the foot of statue. Well, it was on Governor's Island on a jetty bobbing around, and Statue of Liberty was behind. Now that's got me thinking as well yesterday in relation to, so what I'm saying is that when you see the when you see the beginning of the millennium, we'll see the Twin Towers return. And Christopher Nolan's already given soft disclosure on that in the film Tenet 64 Jubilee. But people will know that the timelines have changed, but they'll also remember what occurred, i.e. you'll have 3 towers. And there's been a YouTube video that's been going around, and it came to my awareness a few days ago, and it shows the 3 towers, the 2 existing towers, the ones that got taken down, plus the 1 World Trade Center that's there. 1 World Trade Center comes to the Mount of Olives, 219, which also comes to Donald John Trump, plus DJT, which is the word leap 34 grace. and they're all in a line, and that's 1, 1, 1, which is New York, which is perfection. 1, 1, 1. The start of what? The start of the millennium. Start of the millennium is 254, which is Tower 1 plus Tower 2. It happened on the 254th day of the year in 2001. And then if you just simply, there's obviously building 7 as well. So building 7 comes to 143, which comes to November 5th, which comes to Melania Trump, which comes to Nessun Dorma, which comes to the Tesseract, which comes to my cousin, Paul Bushnell. And I got Paul's code out there when he passed away. I got code out there across those waters. And his date of birth was 118, which is, there you go, he just flashed through the lamppost, just as I said that. He just flashed again, there you go. And 118 is Guy Fawkes. It's the storm, but when you add November 5th plus, November 5th, 143, Paul Bushnell plus his date of birth, 118, January 18th, Guy Fawkes, comes to 261, which comes to Coronavirus Puzzle, which comes to November 22nd for JFK, August 31st for Diana, August 29th in Terminator, which is Judgment Day. 261. The project looking, well, yeah, the Project Looking Glass 261. The best is yet to come, Don. 261. And then if you simply do New York plus building 7, or New York plus November 5th, so that's 111 plus 143, it comes to 254, which comes to start of the millennium 254, which comes to Tower 1, 115, 11.5, November 5th, plus Tower 2, which comes to 139, which comes to Christopher, as in Christopher Nolan, who's done soft reference on this in his film Tenet. Comes to Money Exchange, but it comes to 11.5 out of the deal plus 24, and we're in the year 2024. 11.5 is November 5th. Began together as 254, which is New York, November 5th, which is start of the millennium, which is Tower 1 plus Tower 2, 254, which is the 1,000 years of peace, which is the start of the millennium. That's what I feel is going to come, people. That's what I feel is going to happen. We live in a simulation. We live in a divine God matrix, and we're figuring it out, piecing it together. And as in Tenet, even there, I've just noticed. So they talk about a building on a cliff. They're building a house on a cliff. Now this isn't a house, but it's a Chinese type of building. And can you see that? I just noticed that. That one's a lot smaller than the one in the film, but it's at the beginning of Inception, and it's also mentioned at the end, building a house on a cliff. Yeah, it is Esther. It is. It's him. It is him. The messages I get are from him, from my grandparents, Eileen and Sydney. There's probably others as well that I haven't properly identified, or they don't turn up as much. And then I believe there's my future self as well. So it's all coming. It's darkest before the dawn is upon us. So I'm going to say good night, much love, God bless. Get on the free newsletter with Substack. And some of you are joining at the full level to be named personally in my book as contributors to that. So thank you. I wanted to thank you for that. And I will see you both. I see you both. I will see all of you tomorrow, where we'll be 40 days away. And 40 comes to many things. It comes to US, and it comes to RV. God bless everyone. See you soon. Take care. Bye.